Hey, I'm Dr. Brian McKay of Neuropathy CoreHealth in Darien, and I just wanted to go over something today from some studies I've been reviewing showing the importance of acetyl L-carnitine in helping neuropathy patients. But if let's just get an example of what peripheral neuropathy is. It kind of refers to a condition that results from the nerves that carry messages to and from the spinal cord to the rest of the body are damaged and diseased. Usually happens typically, sometimes we don't know when or why, as a smaller number of cases, mostly diabetics and post-chemo patients or someone who's gone through several traumas or several surgeries will have what we call damaged nerves. And what will happen is I want to go in and show you how effective ALC, acetyl L-carnitine, is for not only relieving the pain, but increasing the functionality. Bodybuilders use it. Um, you know, it helps their bodies perform better. These guys are out there pumping hundreds of pounds of weights, are seeing improvements with the function. It also helps get some of the toxins, the ammonia that your body produces out of your system as well by increasing liver function. So listen, learn, and get on your acetyl L-carnitine. Thanks very much. All right, the big long
Let's
fancy.
get right down to it. Acetyl L-carnitine. What the heck is acetyl L-carnitine?
Basically, it's a mitochondrial boosting supplement that improves mood, learning, and memory. Now, why is that important for a person with peripheral neuropathy? Well, it's important because it really helps in terms of it's a neuroprotective. It helps protect the nerves and also helps in the synthesis of new nerves. The term neuroplasticity means nerves can regrow. They do regrow, and if you give it the right supplementation and create a better environment, these damaged nerves through peripheral neuropathy have a chance to heal, allowing for better communication between the brain and the body part. So you can get acetyl L-carnitine from meat, fish, poultry, and milk. These are the best sources. In general, the redder the meat, the higher acetyl L-carnitine content is. But quite often as we age, the ability for us to have enough of these supplements, our body just becomes more inefficient. And with people who have diabetes or post-chemotherapy patients, they have compromised immune systems. So it's really, really important that you supplement because the drugs don't always do it. The drugs don't really stop. They stop the pain some of the times. There's a lot of serious side effects with Lyric and Cymbalta, gabapentin, the three most commonly prescribed medications for peripheral neuropathy. I'm sure you've seen the ads on television. Now, most people aren't aware that they can take supplements to help this condition. So I want to mention later on another one throughout this conversation here, but let's get right down to it. Acetyl-carnitine is basically, it says here, a neuroprotective effect in patients with peripheral neuropathy. And it's all kinds of peripheral neuropathy. You get it from diabetes, chemotherapy, toxin exposure, multiple surgeries, and the like. The problem is it relates to a real painful condition, primarily in the feet, but can also be the hands. The further away from the heart and the brain these areas are, the more likely to be affected. So this study here is a compilation of many, many studies. And so they take all the facts, they put them together, and lo and behold, they can see data that you can't see if you have a smaller study. So you combine a couple hundred studies and go through a cohort study, you have the ability to, pull information out. And it's basically showing that acetyl L-carnitine will also stimulate the actions of nerve growth factor. Nerve growth factor is where we get neuroplasticity, and the new nerve cells can regrow. And this is pretty important. I mean, even if you didn't have peripheral neuropathy, it'd be really, really good to take this. I mean, it's one of those things you can't really lose. Especially it's going to help regrow nerves. I mean, I'm 58 years old, and I know I could use, a definite improvement in my memory. I don't know about yours at your age, but, and what happens is the ALC, there's a word here, anti-apoptic, and that's about it prevents the cells from dying, and that's important. And it also produces acetylcholine production. So it's one of these things you cannot lose by taking it. All right, so let's get down to it. When you take acetyl-carnitine, you produce it, but again, as we get older, or if your immune system compromised, you're not going to make enough of it. And so what happens is when your insulin is low, your mitochondria start turning to fat for fuel. And what they do is it goes in, the insulin takes the fat, breaks it down into fatty acids. Now the fatty acids go into the mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouse in the cells. And if you don't have active mitochondria, the cells aren't acting as strong as they can. So you really want to burn it. Think of the mitochondria as being the oil burner, that gets the power going to the rest of the body. And these tiny little cells turn these fatty acids into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. But what happens? The fatty acids aren't enough to get the into the mitochondria alone, and they use what's called a carnitine shuttle. And if you think about it, so that's where the acetyl-L-carnitine comes in, but only in the acetyl form as the acetyl is a bit of an alcohol, a good alcohol, by the way. So what it does is the acetyl-L-carnitine latches onto the fatty acids, brings it right into the mitochondria. The mitochondria now has this raw material through the ATP, which allows the cell to produce energy and function at its best. So really, really important. I hope I was able to make that understandable, in a way you can understand. So it's also important to know that acetyl-L-carnitine can pass through the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier keeps some bad stuff out, only lets the good stuff in. And when that's working properly, the brain doesn't get that same fogginess. And there's a new word out there called nootropic. And for people who don't have neuropathy and they want to improve their brain power, acetyl-L-carnitine is probably a good way to go about it. And the term we're applying is an nootropic. So it's a new type of supplement that's out there, but it's not new. It's old, but the way of synthesizing it getting better and better. So what happens is you're going to see increased physical and mental energy levels, as well as overall better cognitive ability. So you got to think that brain fogginess that does typically accompany. If you ever heard someone going through chemo, they talk about the brain fog, and so this is another reason why you should be on acetyl-L-carnitine. And as we age, of course, that thing drops out. Another benefit of the acetyl-L-carnitine, it decreases inflammation in healthy adults. You imagine what it does in unhealthy adults or people with immune systems that are compromised. You probably heard of a thing called glutathione. It's your body's master antioxidant. The antioxidants protect the body, protect the cells, prevent oxidation, which is, gnawing away at killing cells, basically. So there's no reason not to take it. For the focus, it's good for kids with ADD, adults who struggle with mental fatigue, but also boosts circulation. So you're getting blood flow, you're getting better energy production. Acetyl-L-carnitine should be part of every single person who has neuropathy, or if you're looking to maintain that brain power. Now, I know I've hit you with a lot of information today as far as acetyl-L-carnitine. We have a number of programs available. Our program primarily is a home-based care where 80% of your treatments are done at home. And it's not a quick fix for neuropathy. There is no quick fix for neuropathy. And technically, can it be cured? No. Can it be helped? Yes. We've seen it dozens and dozens of times. So what I invite you to do is go through this. You got any questions, feel free to give me a call. I'm really kind of a nerd when it comes to it. I'm still studying it, still learning. You reach out to me, 203-875-0846, 203-875-0846. We're located in Darien. We have workshops a couple times a month. We have a monthly support group that meets the first Saturday of the month at noon here in our office at 551 Post Road in Darien. But just know that there is help and hope for neuropathy sufferers, and we'd love to help you. Come on down to one of our presentations. I'm Dr. Brian McKay, Neuropathy CoreHealth. Let's see what we can do to help you. Thank you very much for listening.